Well, ahead of Sushma Swaraj's speech at the UNGA, Times Now spoke to MEA spokesperson Vikas Swarup, who has called Pakistan's bluff and has urged Pakistan to act immediately against terror.
We have been talking about India trying to isolate, or Pakistan getting isolated in the global community on terrorism. What exactly, what do we mean when we say Pakistan stands isolated?
Well, what we mean is that today, every country in the world has spoken out against terrorism. A large number of countries have also condemned the Uri terror attack in particular. If you go to my Twitter site, you will see the large number of statements that have issued from virtually every major country in the world, whether it be the P5 countries, Russia, USA, UK, China, France, even many of the Gulf countries, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, UAE, and of course all our neighbors, barring one. They have all issued very strong condemnatory statements, and many in fact have even called for a proper investigation of the perpetrators behind the Uri terrorist attack. On the other hand, you have seen what was the statement delivered by the Prime Minister of Pakistan, and which was the one issue on which he harped for almost 80% of his speech. And again, was there any traction for that particular aspect in any of the 130 statements that have already been made from the podium of the United Nations General Assembly? So that itself tells you very clearly where does Pakistan stand and where does our position on terrorism stands.
But just to understand, it's just about perception, but what changes on the ground? Can India, for example, push a little more on getting a convention on terror, because it's already in the works? Can we get some idea as to what is the status and how it's going to impact things on the ground?
You see, right now what is happening is that we have a large number of sectoral conventions which deal with specific acts of terrorism, such as hijacking, for instance. But we do not have an omnibus umbrella convention which can take care of all or any act of terrorism based on a very simple premise of prosecute or extradite, meaning any country where there is a terrorist act or a terrorist is found, that country should either prosecute that terrorist or extradite that terrorist. Now, this particular convention is something that India has been working on since 1996. It's called the Comprehensive Convention on International Terrorism, CCIT. A lot of progress has been made now. In fact, virtually all countries agree on the need for this convention, but there is a bit of a difference now on who all should be excluded from the definition of terrorism. So I think that is the last bit which is still hanging fire, so to speak, and we are continuing with our outreach efforts. When Prime Minister visits any country abroad, you have seen in the joint statements there is a reference to CCIT. When External Affairs Minister meets any foreign minister of any other country, definitely CCIT is raised, and we hope that we will be able to close this gap now and eventually get the UNGA to adopt this very important convention.
How can we push it, actually?
No, we are pushing it. As I said, worst come to worst, there is a provision for voting. If 100% consensus cannot be achieved, then we can consider the option of putting it to vote, where we believe the majority is definitely with us.
Understand that the Prime Minister of Pakistan has left. So he has left with an empty bag. As far as India is concerned, our main issue of focus was terrorism. You can go and sit in the UN General Assembly and you will realize that there is a crescendo of support for counter-terrorism. Terrorism is now seen as one of the biggest scourges that is afflicting members of the United Nations. There is huge support, there is broad agreement that this needs to be an area of focus of the international community. Therefore, if I have to summarize, I would say that the issues of interest to India are now on top of the international agenda. As far as Pakistan is concerned, they have not got any support from anyone in the United Nations General Assembly.